All right. Okay. Hello, Shalom sisters. I just had a little video that I wanted to do. It's going to be really quick and short. I just had some questions for you all, and maybe we can talk about it down below in the comments or whatever after the video. Alright, so let's get to it. The first question I got is, how submissive are you? How submissive are you? This is a question that we ask ourselves all the time, every day, whether we have to ask ourselves, how submissive are we being? Because this is how the Lord wants his women to be, submissive. So how submissive are you? That's the first question. Because we know as women we can have attitudes, and we can get over emotional, and we can take little things and make them so big. So how submissive are you? That's the first question. The second question is, are you self-evaluating? So are you recognizing your attitudes? Are you recognizing when you're getting attitudes? Are you recognizing when you're getting out of character, not being submissive? Are you self-evaluating? Are you checking stuff at the door? I seen this post the other day, and it was just talking about being bipolar, like women being bipolar. Basically being upset one minute, happy the next minute, sad, now you're excited. I mean, us women, we can be like that. Hey, I was like that, but what are we doing about those attitudes? What are we doing about those mood swings? Are we checking it at the door, or are we letting it linger? We have to ask ourselves that. Are we self-evaluating? The third question is, what are you doing to control your attitudes? So what are you doing to control it? I do really want to ask you women that. What are you doing to control your attitudes? Because every woman has an attitude, but no one would know, you know what I'm saying, if you know how to control it. You can have a silent attitude, no one even knows, and you still can be submissive, and you still can do what you're told, and you just can just let it go, have an attitude and just get over it. The Lord told you to be slow to anger, and slow to wrath, slow to wrath, which is in James 1:19. We can actually hit that really quick. James 1:19. But it's just letting you know that James 1:19. It says, "Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath." So be quick to listen. Listen first and then speak. And if something offends you, don't be in a hurry to just get angry about it. See if you can work it out or something. See what you can do to fix it. Or if it does make you upset, if you just can't step out of the room or something, what do you do to basically control your attitude? What do you do? I want to know. What else do we got? Next thing, oh yeah, you know what we can do? We can hit Genesis 16. Let's hit Genesis 16. What are we doing about our attitudes? How are we controlling our attitudes? Let's see. Let's check this out real quick. This is about Sarah and Hagar and what happened with them. Because we women, we have attitudes. Hey, we're women. We have hormonal problems. Gosh. People got to understand that, but we got to do something about it, though. We got to be able to control it. Sorry. Genesis 16. We start at verse 6. Verse 6. It says, and this is after, because if you know the story of Sarah and Hagar, is Sarah couldn't bear children, and so she gave her handmaid Hagar to her husband Abraham, and Hagar conceived, and she started to despise Sarah because of that, and Sarah told Abraham about it, and Abraham told Sarah to deal with Hagar because that was her maidservant. So let's see what happened with that. This is verse 6. It says, "But Abraham said unto Sarah, Behold, thy handmaid is in thy hand. do to her as it pleaseth thee. And when Sarah dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. So when Sarah dealt with Hagar, Hagar got up out of there. She left. And it says, and the angel of the Lord found her by the fountain. I'm sorry, I have to see, was my camera still going? Somebody at the door and stuff? Okay. I'm sorry about that. It says, and the angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to shore. So this is where the Lord had found Hagar, in the wilderness. And it says, and he said, Hagar, Sarah's maid, whence comest thou? So where you come from? And it says, and whither will I go? And where are you going? And it says, and she said, I have fled, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarah. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands. So when the Lord heard that she fled from Sarah, the Lord told, if you don't go back to your if you don't go back to Sarah and submit yourself unto her. So basically Hagar was doing something disobedient. What are you doing out here in the wilderness? If you don't get your butt back there. But it's just the simple thing is, you know what I'm saying, so, as women, we can be disobedient. You know, we can allow our attitude or the things that offend us, we can allow that to make us get out of character when we can't. The Lord told her to go back and submit. We're supposed to be submissive at all times. How submissive are you? Just another little one. Another example in 1 Samuel 25 that was talking about the story of David and Nabal and Abigail and what happened with them, and what happened with Abigail really, how she was acting, you know, because her husband was matter of fact, let's go read it. Let's go read some key pointers of it, and we're just gonna see how her husband was, because her husband, he wasn't a good man, but in all in all, Abigail still was doing what she needed to do. This 1 Samuel 25. We can start at oh, you know what? Let's hit 3. It says, now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail, and she was a woman of good understanding and of a beautiful countenance. But the man was sureless. I looked that word sureless up. And sureless mean rude. It means impolite and unmannerly. And in Hebrew, I actually wrote it down. In Hebrew, the word sureless or sureless means kwasha, if I'm pronouncing that right. It means hard or difficult or stubborn. She was dealing with an evil, stubborn man, unmannerly, impolite. This was the kind of man she was dealing with. But out of no shape or form did Abigail get out of line. She did what she needed to do. You know, if you want to go and read the story, it's 1 Samuel 25. You can go through the story. It was about a little altercation that David and Nabal had. David wanted to receive some things from Nabal. Nabal said no, they was going to go to war. Basically, Abigail, she intervened by basically taking him and giving him some things or whatever to stop the war from going on. So, but it's a good story. So go read it. 1 Samuel 25, the story of Abigail and how she handled that attitude. Also, what else do we got? Let's see. Number 4. Does your attitude allow you to go off? So does your attitude allow you to go off? I don't think so. Abigail didn't go off. You know, I'm pretty sure she had an attitude, you know, with the way he was acting. This is a stubborn man. Probably talked to her impolite. But in no shape or form did she go off. You know. So, does your attitude allow you to go off? And another thing I got on here is being submissive is a choice. It really is a choice. Can nobody force, or no man force a woman to submit. Can't. You can't beat her. You can't bully her. You can't do. It's her choice. It's basically her letting her guards down. So women, what are you gonna do? How submissive are you? Do you let your guards down? You know, are you letting your guards down for a man? Which you should. You should totally submit. You know, another one we can hit, First Peter. And this is how important submission is, because submission is very, very important. It's powerful. It's powerful. The Lord told us to submit. We can read that first. We can hit that first. Ephesians. Let's hit that first. Matter of fact, Ephesians 5:22. Wives. 5:22. Ephesians 5:22. It says, "Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject or in submission unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything." So in everything, or if you don't have a husband, the Lord, be submissive. The Lord told you to be submissive as unto, wives, submit to your husbands as unto the Lord. You know, so we're supposed to be submissive just like we'll be submissive to the Lord. Period. Submission is a bad thing in a good way. In a good way. It's a good thing. Alright, let me show you how powerful it is. First Peter 3. It says, to wipe that crap off anyway. It says, likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, or if